por aquí por este lado, vale.
Welcome to Log and to St. James's birthday. I'm Talissa, a documentary photographer, director, global political economy MA student and perpetual pilgrim. We are celebrating Dia de Galicia, and I have 2 micro-documentaries, or doculitos, coming soon, whisking you through Apostolo and Last Log's Festa da Carme.
Necesito 4 y 3. 3, conmigo. 4, 5.
This is a traditional fisherman's house in this town, and you can tell because of the balcony having a stone underlay, so one big long slab.
At this point, I am honestly just so overwhelmed by everything that I have to do that any excuse to not do it, I will take.
So this is a battery ramp, and these windows were for cannons in order to protect the river from invaders, very specifically British, English invaders, because if you protect this inlet, then you protect Ferrol, and Ferrol was an extremely important port.
No es tan frío.
No, no está tan.
Of course he got the best spot. So Galicia, as you can imagine, is a fishing area, and this structure here, of which there used to be a lot more, is where they would dry fish and octopus before they brought them into the interior. You can find a section of about 30 of these up just above the village in Murcia along the coast.
I really hate when Zoom moves things.
And before we close out on the crisis,
Good morning. At 10 o'clock I have my final lecture for this module on the methodologies of researching politics and economics, fine, grand. After that at noon I have, I still think, a very large meeting that is a just massive must plan. I've got my academic schedules, I've got my travel schedules, I've got my sort of content schedules, but I don't actually have a really realistic, feasible production schedule, and it is biting me in the ass. Come September, I'm going to be in Japan, and we're not going to see each other for a couple of months because I'm not going to be able to do this at the same time, because I'm going to Japan to walk 2 Kumano-kodos. The first one with a wonderful, incredible human being called Reese from Canada, whom I haven't seen in 2 years, and I'm dead excited. And the second with my extremely good friend Kelsey, whom I did a road trip in the US with, which I will also get round to editing at some point. And then I'm going to walk the Shikoku Hendro, which is this big old 88 temple walk, takes about 55 days. You will see separately explanations about these kinds of pilgrimages, but they take 3 months. Following on from that, the plan is to fly to Seoul in Korea, never been before. From there, Istanbul in Turkey, and from there, fingers crossed, Iraq, before heading down to Malaga, south of Spain, for Christmas. So all that is happening. While that is happening, I'm going to be putting out daily videos of the Via Francigena or Via Francigena, depending on how you pronounce it, which I walked the first half of last year, ran off to go to Austria and walk the Jakobsweg, so that will also be featured, and then finished this year. I was on the boat shooting the, apologies, a lot of ums, on the boats shooting the Festa de Carme here on last Thursday, which was absolutely amazing, and I was stopped by one of the organisers and asked if there was a possibility for them to have my images. Depending on cost, she'll be delighted to know that I'm happily going to give those to her for free. So I do need to actually finish those, put them together and email those to her before I completely forget. I think that's all that I need to have in my head this morning. Probably not, but it is all that's in my head this morning. Let's feed my stomach.
A lot of questions among Fed watchers.
This marked change from Fed comms of the recent past.
How much depth and how much detail are you going to go into?
How uncertainty is transforming into calculable risk.
Well, the delay happened because of the corruption.
Where do the European companies sit by comparison to their global compatriots? An analysis and collection of the language that is used to refer to Chinese product within the European market.
Good morning. I've just woken up. Okay, well, I think we can all agree that that process is still happening. But I've just risen to 100 of you on YouTube, which is, I mean, I watch people talk about this kind of thing. They're generally talking about hundreds of thousands, but it's cool to me. Hi!
Meeting my auntie for breakfast. Wait, am I supposed to be going into Santiago today? Oh.
It will come as no surprise that I'm really quite tired today. I'm really quite tired a lot of the time because I am doing everything myself. And that doesn't necessarily always mean that I need very particular technical support, although that would be lovely. Sometimes it just means that I could use a sounding board to just bleh, thoughts, ideas, so I can just hear myself say them out loud. And I guess that is what you're doing, you lucky, lucky group of people.
Overall, an incredibly successful day, capturing all the footage that, hopefully, all the footage that I need to make this Pilgrim's House volunteering video.
I'm not quite ready to be human this morning. I've got I've got a pretty decent amount of admin that I need to do this morning, so I'm going to crack on with that in a minute. First, I'm going to enjoy this coffee and a little journal, a little reading, a little something that's not work. I've just ventured out of my room for a coffee, and look what my uncle brought me from yesterday. It's all this data about numbers and paths and things from the Camino that's in the local newspaper. This is La Voz de Galicia. I'm so excited to do some data comparison. Paul is coming in today. We're gonna get them some great shots of the cathedral. I've not seen him in 2 years. I am ecstatic. So you can come along to meet Paul.
T-minus 15 minutes till Paul.
We just want to make you jealous that we're together and you're there.
It's Santiago.
Santiago.
But it's cool because I recorded it, so later on I can find out what I said. It's not just you. Awesome. I mean, it was not on purpose. I had fun, and then I didn't stop having fun.
I don't have any like impending sense of dread, so it must have been fine, even though I don't remember it at all. I'm just editing a ton of images to send off to places. We're doing fine. I'm so sorry. I fully took that over with my idiotic choices.
Of their responsibility
responsibility for the difficult situation their country is in.
And it was the Danish Air Force that took to the skies to shepherd the Russians away. We can never know if it would have happened.
Good morning. It's the last day of this log. It's the last day of Galicia. It's the last day of Spain for the year. A mosquito decided to suck on my eyelid last night, so I'll spare you that.
In my battle with this arsehole mosquito, I did try and shove my silk top over my head because they can't get through silk. Did you know, in fact, that the earliest invention of like bulletproof vests, if you will, so Under Armour, was silk, so extra layers of silk, and it made it very difficult for like swords and knives to penetrate. So that's your earliest form of body protection in terms of war, which is what this was. Battle. Although they won my eye because there was a chink in the armor. Okay, I am trying to pull myself together right now. I am trying to do as much laundry as possible, hoovering, etc. I absolutely hate leaving my hosts with chores and work to do just because I was here. So I'm trying to get all of that done and I'm heading to the airport. My uncle's gonna pick me up in like just under 2 hours. So there's loads of time there, only I've got a bunch of like taxes and other things I need to try and shove into that time. Get on my foot. Right, so we're doing really well. I can't wait to come back. I will be back in May. Oh, bye. Bye. It's been nice knowing you. Bye. I'm all packed up and it's so heavy. It's actually astonishing how heavy, but I've got 2 laptops, I've got 2 cameras, I have all manner of tech, and then I have a lot of Spanish food. I have paprika, I have olives, I have ham, I have chorizo, I have cheese.
Oh my gosh, I'm really oddly anxious. I don't want to leave.
Thank you for watching, and to those who found your way here from Kate, the Renaissance academic Murphy Hurrell's channel, welcome! For others raising concerns about my well-being, I promise next week is a strict routine prioritising sleep and scholarly pursuits back in London. See you next Thursday.